You know the feeling, right? That massive burst of energy for a new goal, a new project. You feel absolutely unstoppable. But then, just a week or two later, poof, it's gone. The motivation just vanishes. It is such a frustrating cycle. But what if I told you the problem isn't your motivation? What if it's actually your strategy?
Does that sound familiar at all? Let's talk about someone named Sneha, because her story perfectly captures this whole boom and bust cycle that so many of us get trapped in. I have a feeling you're going to recognize this.
So, at the starting line, Sneha decides she's going for an all-out sprint. We're not talking one goal here. We're talking 3 huge life changes all at once. It's super ambitious, it's exciting, and it feels like the fastest way to make a big change.
And for that first lap, man, she was incredible. Waking up early, hitting her workouts, watching those videos to upskill, she was absolutely crushing it. That initial adrenaline was pumping, and the finish line felt so close.
And then, the crash. The pace was just completely unsustainable. I mean, it's like trying to sprint a marathon, right? Her energy reserves were just gone, and she hit a wall, hard. It was back to late mornings, no workouts, no learning. The race was over before it even really got started.
So what happened? What went wrong? This really gets to the core of the issue. See, this wasn't a failure of willpower. It was a failure of strategy. Let's break down the real reason our motivation seems to just evaporate.
And here it is. This is the big idea. Motivation isn't some magical infinite well we can just draw from. Think of it more like a tank of gas. When you try to do way too much, way too fast, you burn through all of it at once. You don't fail because you're weak. You fail because you set an impossible pace right from the start.
Okay, so if the all-out sprint just leads to burnout, what's the alternative? Well, it's about changing the race entirely. Let's explore a totally different path, one that's built for the long haul, for endurance, not just for speed.
Let's hit rewind and give Sneha a brand new race plan. This time, she's not thinking about that explosive, flashy start. Nope. She's just thinking about finishing the race. And to do that, she decides to start small.
Her new plan is so simple, it's almost funny. Just 10 minutes of exercise. Just one learning video a day. The goal isn't to be a superhero on day 1. The goal is just to show up, to be consistent. The pressure, it's completely off the table.
And check this out, a month later, Sneha hasn't just avoided burnout, she's thriving. She is still in the race, moving forward, nice and steady. Every single day she shows up isn't just getting her closer to her goals, it's building real, lasting confidence and discipline.
When you put these two strategies side by side like this, the difference is just, well, it's night and day, isn't it? One is all about these huge, high-pressure goals that pretty much guarantee a quick burnout. The other is about small, no-pressure actions that build real, lasting success. One is a flash in the pan, the other is a slow, steady fire.
So why does this steady approach work so well? What's the secret sauce? It's not just a nice idea. There's actually a really powerful psychological engine at play here, and it all comes down to the power of consistency.
This is how it works. It creates this amazing, positive feedback loop. You start with an action that's so small it feels almost silly not to do it. Then you stay consistent, which turns that little action into a habit. Every time you do it, you get a small win, and that builds your confidence. And that confidence is the fuel that keeps you going all the way to your goal. It's a powerful, self-reinforcing cycle.
So if you take just one thing away today, please let it be this. The goal isn't to have the most impressive, explosive start. The real goal is to be the person who is still going, day after day after day. Success is a marathon of consistency, not a sprint of intensity.
Now let's bring this all home to you, because this isn't just Sneha's story, right? This is a mindset you can apply to any goal in your own life, starting right now. It's your race, and you get to set the pace.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What big, overwhelming sprint are you trying to run in your life right now? And what would it look like to turn that into a tiny, steady pace you could start tomorrow? Because that small shift, that could be the key that finally gets you across the finish line.